आलय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु बन्धुजगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। भुजे सव्यवेणुं शिरसि शिखिपिच्छं कटितटे दुकूलां नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षं विदधते सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनवसति लीलापरिचयो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयनपथगामि भवतु मे। वन्दे नन्दव्रजस्त्रीणां पादरेणुम् अभीक्ष्णशः यासां हरिकथोद्गीतं पुनाति भुवनत्रयं भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षै क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नवृन्दे नुमस्ते चरणारविन्दं भूमस्वखलितपादानां भूमिरेव यवलम्बनं त्वय्यजातयपराधानां त्वमैव शरणं प्रभु। वागीशा यस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्य च वक्ष्यासि यस्यास्ति हृदये संवित्तं निसिंहामहं भजे। श्रीकृष्ण प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। कल से 4 बजे तक मेरे रूम में रखना मोबाइल, ठीक है? इसकी वजह से लेट हुआ आज। So yesterday we heard the story of this young girl who had several guests at her place, at her house. Many persons had come, and then she was in order to welcome all the guests in a proper manner, she went inside to prepare food for them after offering the asan, the seat, and water. But then found that there is no rice, so she started dehusking the rice. So in the process her bangles started to make noise, so she removed all of them, keeping just two on each of their arms, on her arms. And then also when she started dehusking by beating the rice, and there again there was sound, the noise. So then she removed one from each, leaving only one on each of her arms. So by this, he said that, you see, I go everywhere and I study the nature of various persons. By studying the nature of each of these persons, I try to learn some lessons from them. So the lesson that I learned from this particular incident is that if there are too many persons in a place or in a meeting where everyone has different opinions, they are not on a unified problem, they all have their own agendas, then the of course everyone's agenda is their own selfishness, their own pleasure. So then the clashes or too much of a noise is inevitable there. And when in cases when only two were there, he's saying that what I learned from that is that even when two persons are there, then there will be mundane gossip. That is why he says that what I learned from this is it is better always to stay alone in order to perform Hari Bhajan. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the commentary, staying alone means staying in the company of those devotees who are like-minded, Swajatiya, those who are of the same clan, same like-minded persons. And then, associating with those devotees, performing Sankirtan with one singular purpose, that is to please Hari. Not to earn fame, not to earn name or money or some other popularity, not with that. With a unified purpose of pleasing Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, associating with the like-minded persons, then, one will get, that is called, he says, that is nirjan, that is being staying in solitude. Now we will continue from verse number 11 of chapter 9, canto number 11. Mano ekatra sanyujya jati shwaso jitasana वैराग्याभ्यास योगेन ध्रियमाण मत अंत्रितः आसन जयी ओ श्वास जयी होइया सावधाने वैराग्यो अभ्यास योगे चित्त स्थिर करिया एकमात्र लक्ष्य वस्तुते मन संयोग करिबे. Telling that one should become very expert in asanas, the postures, Vedic postures, and shwasa, control of the breathing process. One should become experts in the process, in the postures and the breathing process, savadhane, and thus very carefully one should practice vairagya, detachment, and abhyasa, to practice spiritual practices. Chitta sthir koriya. So in this way, mind needs to be studied. The mind needs to be studied by two processes. One is by detachment, practice detachment, and then by spiritual practice, undergoing spiritual practices. So, ekamatra lakshya vastute mana sanjog karbe, and fix your mind on one target. If the mind is fixed on a single target, by detaching the mind from all other things and practicing to concentrate on that object, one will get the desired fruit. So in this he is telling that by becoming expert in postures, and means here he is speaking about the yoga system, Ashtanga yoga system. By yoga one will have become expert in the postures and the breathing process, the respiratory process, and then after that vairagya and abhyas, practice. So to control a mind, these two are very essential to practice detachment. As much attachment we have to material objects, then obviously there will be mind will go here and there. So one needs to practice detachment. So this the Lord himself indicates to Arjuna. Arjuna tells to asks Krishna that you have asked me to control everything, to control the mind. But the thing is, I think the controlling of the mind is the most difficult thing to do. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna. He is telling that, my dear Lord, mind is very, very flickering. He is not fixed on one object. Pramati balavad dridam. It's very, very difficult to restrain it to one thing. Tatrapi nigraham manye vairoirava sudushkaram. If I want to control the wind, I can do it very easily. Because Arjuna is a great warrior. So he knows, using the arrows, he says that even I can control the wind. Wind god, he can control him. But he is telling that my mind I cannot control. Vairoirava sudushkaram. To control mind, wind is very difficult. He is saying that I can control it, but I cannot control my mind. Because he told that practice Ashtanga yoga, the yogic process also is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So, I cannot do all these things, I cannot control my mind, just give me, way out of it. Then he says, Ashanshayam Mahabaho. Yes, Mahabaho means great warrior. Why is he addressing as great warrior? Because he can control even the wind. Is there anyone who can control the wind? Nobody. But Mahabaho, you are, Bahu means shoulders, he who has, warrior like shoulders, is a great warrior. So definitely you can, Mahabaho, Shanshayam, it is true, what you said is true. Then, Abhyasena tu Kaunteya. He's telling that, my dear son of Kunti, Abhyasa, practice. You have to practice. Vairagyena tu Guhyate. And then, while practicing, you should also stay detached. If you are doing these two things, detachment and practice simultaneously, then control. So this is a process to fix our mind on. We have to repeatedly. The mind will repeatedly go after material things. Then again you have to control it, bring it back. Again it will think of. You have to control, bring it back. So the mind will repeatedly go away from control. But the intelligence should guide the mind. Mind should not dictate intelligence. If it becomes that, manasastu parabuddhi, actually intelligence is superior to mind. But the mind is so expert in trying to articulate and present that it even, covers the intelligence. Mind gives so many nice excuses that even the intelligence is failed at the mind's logics. That's why too much of analysis or too much of word jugglery or speculation, these are all not good. Intelligence should always guide over the mind. If the mind takes control, then it's very difficult. So he's telling that when the mind goes away, then use your intelligence to bring it back. And when it comes back, slowly detachment and practice, detachment and practice. In this way, you will become successful in controlling the mind. Lord is not telling that which is not practical. He is not telling something that is not possible. He is not, asking us to do something, that probably nobody in the world has achieved. He is telling that which is possible. But he is telling the process. Mind control is possible. This is the process. So, Abhyasa and Vairagya, these two are to be practiced always. So, I remember one example that Swami Maharaj used to give. One has to give training to the mind training is given to a lion or some ferocious animal. A circus man, he catches hold of a lion, isn't it? He wants to exhibit something in the circus. You have circus in your country? Yes, okay. So he wants to, show some, lion's activities, and the lion is completely under the control of the person. He will tell dance like this or jump from inside the ring or stand up on two legs, whatever the person who is controlling the lion, he says the lion will follow. The lion is supposed to come and eat. He will eat it, and then so many persons are sitting, he will definitely attack one person or the other and he will eat. But in the circus it doesn't happen, isn't it? You don't have to fear, because there is a training for the circus. Swami Maharaj used to explain, when the lion is caught, he is put in the cage. He is put in the cage and then he is not supplied food. Now he cannot go outside to search for his own food, and inside the cage he is not supplied food. So he is waiting for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and the 5th day he comes with a fresh flesh to be offered to the lion. So he brings it, he keeps it in front, then the lion is already hungry. He has been not been eating for 4-5 days. He's already hungry. He wants to eat it. As soon as he wants to eat, this person has a whip in his hand. He would beat the lion. He would not let the lion eat it. He's weak now. He cannot attack this person also, because he's weak. So now he will beat with the whip. And then after beating the whip, then he will let the lion eat. Again 4-5 days fasting. Then he will again go. Again the lion wants to eat, again he will whip. So then the lion will understand, oh, only if this guy gives me permission I can eat. He will understand. Even as after you tame an animal, animal will also understand, oh, this guy wants something from me. He needs to tell me something. So then he will wait for his order. Yes, what you want? What do you want me to do? Then he will tell, do like this, do like that, and then he will train everything, the lion. And then he will now understand, okay, now whenever he comes, he gives me food before he asks me to do something, I shall do it, and then I will get my food. So in that way, even the ferocious lion, he is trained. And then he comes in the circus, whatever he says, he dances according to his wishes. But before that, there is called a tiger training. The tiger or the lion, they are trained in that manner. So he says that the mind should also be controlled like that. The mind goes to enjoy something, immediately you have to whip it. You have to beat your mind. How do you beat your mind? You cannot see it, no? How can we beat the mind? Raghunath Goswami in his Manas Shiksha, he writes, every day after you get up from your bed, you beat your mind with a broom. Use a broom to beat your mind. How is it possible? Broom is a physical thing, mind is a subtle thing. It's not possible. So, to train the mind means whenever the mind thinks about you will deprive the mind of its pleasure. And if you deprive the mind from its pleasure, then slowly a point will come when the mind will be tamed to understand. It's not a 1 day, 1, 2, 3 or 10 days or one month's practice. It has to be tamed. Like a tiger is tamed in the circus, the mind is also be tamed in that way by constant detachment, practice of detachment, and by practicing the spiritual, whatever spiritual practices are there, by practicing that. So these two, to fix your mind in one object. The mind should be fixed in one object. If the mind is concentrated on so many things, then it cannot attain peace. Like we heard the story of a chariot being pulled by 5 different horses in 5 different directions. Then the chariot will ultimately, and the person who is is traveling in that chariot will ultimately fall down and will get hurt. In a similar way, mind should not be left uncontrolled. Srila Vishna Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Shara nirmankari hoite chitte ekagrata shikhar vishay bolte chen 3 shlok dwara. So in these 3 verses, concentration of the mind is being said about through an example of a person who is preparing arrows, the arrow maker, the person who is preparing the arrows. From that person, this lesson is being learned. How to be ekagrata. Ekagrata means concentrated. How to be concentrated on one particular objective. Anurager Bashai Man Itastuta Brahman Kore. Because of our attachment to several things, mind goes here and there. That is the cause, our attachment or our affection to various things. Only one. Just concentrate on one, and then you will achieve the goal. At Supreme Lord, if we fix it, then there is no problem. Just like if both the feet are in the same land, everything will pull in different directions. So you have to be fixed only one. Ataiva Vairagya Abhyasa Dwara, therefore practice. So through Bhakti Mishra, through Ashtanga Yoga, that is mixed with devotion. Because yoga means Yoginam api sarvesham madgati antaratmana. The Lord tells that you become a yogi. He is telling that karmibhyascha adhiko yogi, tapasvicha adhiko yogi. Yogi is superior than tapasvi, a person who is practicing tapasya, austerities. Jnanisva apicha matodhika. He is even superior. A yogi is superior even to a jnani. Yogi is superior to jnani also. Karmibhyascha adhiko yogi, and even he is superior to karma. Karmi means a person who wants to enjoy. Tasmat yogi bhavarchana. You become that yogi here, Arjun. Don't become a jnani. Means he already gave Jnana Yoga, he already gave Karma Yoga, he already gave Ashtanga Yoga, all those things he gave, Tapasya, etc. Now he tells after everything, you become a yogi, because yogi is superior to all these persons. And then he says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgate antaratmanah. But that yogi is superior who sees me always inside his heart. And मदगति अंतरात्मनः क्या है उसके बाद? Anyone knows that verse? श्रद्धामाम भजते यो माम. He who performs bhajan or worships me with faith. Same yogi mat parah. He is telling that that yogi is according to me superior. Okay, he is telling that you become a yogi in the previous verse. And in this verse he is telling what kind of yogi you become? That yogi whose mind is fixed upon me, who worships me, Shraddha Mam, with faith. And that yogi who is fixed in this is the best of all yogis. What is the meaning of it? Become a devotee, isn't it? Best yogi is a devotee, because his mind is always fixed. He is not thinking about so many things. How to please Supreme Lord, his mind is fixed. He is thinking about how to please Supreme Lord always. And also, Shraddha Mam Bhajate Yo Mam. And with faith, he is worshipping me, nothing else. Therefore, that yogi is superior, means devotee is superior. So, after karma, after jnana, after yoga, after all the process, he is telling that ultimately you become my devotee. In another verse, after the Jnana Yoga, he speaks that Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. A Jnanavan, Bahunam means after so many births. Janmanam Ante, after taking so many births, Jnanavan, a person who has been accumulating knowledge, he is studying knowledge. Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate, he will surrender to me. Means after so much knowledge, one will understand that Krishna is supreme. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. He will surrender to me, and then he will understand that everything rests in Vasudeva only, everything rests in Krishna only. Krishna is supreme. That Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan. After passing through so many births of, after accumulating so much knowledge, he who is very, very, fortunate, he will surrender to me. Therefore, even among the Jnanis, a person who surrenders to me, he is superior. He says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Such a person is very, very rare. Very rarely to be found. Means the pure devotees are extremely rare. Person whose intelligence, whose mind, everything is fixed in Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who has surrendered to Vasudeva and who thinks that everything is Vasudeva, is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Such a person is very rare. So, in Bhagavad Gita, whatever yoga he taught, all the yogas, ultimately he says that you become a devotee. Jnanam Paramam Guhyam. He is also telling that now I am going to give you very, very secret knowledge. He is telling that I am going to give you very, very secret knowledge by knowing which you will attain ultimate peace. What is that? You become my devotee. Means, entire Bhagavad Gita, a karmi may take it in the karmic path, that in entire Bhagavad Gita, the Lord speaks about karma yoga. A jnani may give a commentary as if, it is on the, jnana, accumulating jnana. But actually, if you see, he is telling that I am giving you jnanam paramaguhyam. I am giving you the most secret of all knowledges. Secret of all secrets, Raja Vidya is the king of all knowledges. Raja Guhyam, and the king, secret of all secrets. Pavitram, it's very, very, purifying. Idam Uttamam, it is topmost. Pratyaksha Gamyam, and one can see the Lord face to face by this. And Susukam Kartumavyam, and this is performed with lot of peace. Very happily this is performed. I am going to give that knowledge. Now listen. After saying this, he speaks about Bhakti Yoga. After giving all these, he is speaking about Bhakti Yoga. So, ultimately, in Bhagavad Gita, he is leading everyone to the path of Bhakti only. Even though it may apparently seem that he talked about various other, processes, but ultimately he brings everyone to one thing, that you have to become a devotee. So, he is telling that here, although it is said about practicing the postures and practicing the the controlling over the respiratory or the regulating the wind inside. So after conquering this, then you practice renunciation. So even though it is seen to be talking about Ashtanga Yoga, Prabhupada says, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says it's about devotion only that's being talked about. Yasmin mano labdha padam yadetat शनैर् मुञ्चति कर्म रेणुन् सत्वेन वृद्धेन रजस्तमश्च विधूय निर्वाणमुपैत्य निंधनम. लय विक्षेपात्मक এই চিত্তে যে ভগবত বস্তুতে প্রতিষ্ঠা লাভ করিলে ক্রমশঃ কর্ম বাসনা পরিত্যাগ এবং রজঃ ও তমোগুণ परिहार पूर्वक सत्वगुण द्वारा ईंधन रहित अग्नि न्याय निर्वाण लाभ है श्री जगदीश्वरेर प्रति मन संयोग करिबे. So in this verse he completes what he told in the previous verse: practice and detachment and practice, concentrate your mind on one thing, on what object is to be one concentrate. He is telling the Jagadishwarer prati mana sanjog. You have to concentrate on Jagadishwar, on Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. This is the only process. So, this mind otherwise is always restless. It is, always flickering, this or that, whether I should do this or whether I should do that. It's always laya vikshep, sometimes holding to it, sometimes leaving it, sometimes holding to it, sometimes leaving it. So, it's never in a determined state, the mind. Bhagavad Vastute Pratishtha Labh Kurle, but if that mind is fixed in Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Because in this material world, why are we holding to something and then leaving it? Pleasure. As long as we think that it gives me pleasure, then we hold to it. Oh, no, here there is no pleasure. Then let me go here. Oh, there is no pleasure here also. Let me take this. So like this we are only changing from place to place. Ultimately, we are looking for only pleasure. And therefore, sometimes the mind says, maybe here there is pleasure, maybe here there is pleasure, then there is no pleasure, okay, leave it, then this. So, Sankalpa Vikalpa, there is always constant, fight between, whether to accept it or reject it, accept it or reject it. Till the mind is not steady, these things will happen. So, he is telling that, now fix your mind in the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Once you do that, kramashah karma vasana parityag. Slowly, your tendency to enjoy will go away. The mind becomes steady. This is being talked about a positive thing. Now we want to get rid of the material things. It's not possible. But if we fix the mind in Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, by the strength of that, then we can become detached from this material hankerings. Otherwise, as we heard before also, the mind needs a resting place. He needs to think about something. Our Nishkinchan Maharaj, you have seen him, Nishkinchan Maharaj, Chandigarh Mutt, he used to give an example. That, jinn? Jinn, jinn? Jinn. Genie, yeah. So he is, a person who had done lot of, penance to get a jinn with him. Genie you call, is it? Yeah? Yeah, just he appears and then he does whatever you want. So after he pleased a sadhu told that, I am leaving this jinn with you. Okay, now he will be with you always, and whatever you order him, he will keep on doing it. So he said he was very satisfied because he wanted someone to help him in everything. So he told, this person will be with you, you take him along. And he told, but make sure that you engage him in some service. Otherwise, he will eat your brain. He needs something. You need to engage him in something or the other. So he told, okay, he wanted someone, there are so many things to be done, so he wanted some helper. So he came, and then he tells that, okay, my dear master, I am ready, please give me some service. So then the master gives, okay, go and, in the paddy field, just give water to everything, and wherever paddy is ready, just remove it. Then he finishes everything quickly and then comes back, my dear master, I finished it, please give me some service. You finished it? Yes, I already finished it. Oh, then okay, go and fetch, vegetables. There are no vegetables in the house. Bring the vegetables. He goes and quickly brings all the vegetables. My dear master, I have done that job. Please give me some more job. Then he gives, okay, just clean all the vessels. Cook. He finishes everything. So, my dear master, I am done. Please give me some service. He's coming, and if he's not giving, then he's eating his brain. Something, you just give me some service. He cannot stay like that. Then he goes back to the sadhu. My dear sadhu, what person did you give me? He finished everything so quickly, and then he's after me that give me some service, give me some service. Then he says, okay, you do one thing. This person without service he cannot stay anything. He will keep on doing it. He will keep on bothering you. So what you do is, sadhu only gives intelligence. He tells that, okay, what you do is climb up and down, up and down, up and down. He tell that till I tell you to stop, just keep on doing it. Go up, go down, go up, go down. So keep on engaging him. Otherwise, he will eat your brain. So Nishkinchana Maharaj used to say, our brain is like that. If you don't give him something to do, he will keep on bothering you. This thing, that thing, going here, going there, so many things he will ask. That's why he says, Sadhu has given Harinam. Keep on chanting. Go up, go down, go up, go down. Keep on chanting. Keep on chanting. Don't let the mind go here and there. Otherwise, he will eat your brain. Idle man's mind is devil's workshop, they say, right? So if you keep the mind idle, then he will kill you. Therefore, he says, sadhus, our Gurudev has very mercifully gave this japamala. Keep on chanting till, oh mind, till I give you something to do, just keep on chanting. So this is the procedure to control. So if the mind is not fixed, then he will just go on. Our Nishkinchana Maharaj used to give very nice examples. Another example I remember, very nice, not in this context, but very practical examples he used to give. Yeah. One time, one person is an atheist. He is thinking that this Lord does not know how to create. He does not know, how to even, that what do you call, make proper creation. The mango which everyone likes, everyone likes mango, everyone wants to eat. He has given, mango fruit at the top of the tree. Someone has to climb up, and then he has to pluck it. And then other, you have this pumpkin and all these things. Pumpkin is on the floor. So nobody, okay, we will eat tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Mango everyone wants. Everyone has to go climb the tree and then bring it. What kind of, creator is he? He does not know even how to create. And the sadhu thinks, okay, let the time come, I will teach him some lesson. So they were walking together, and suddenly one time, when they were walking together, suddenly he sleeps under a tree. So both of them go to a sleep. Particularly the atheist, he is under deep sleep, and then he is actually sleeping under a what do you call a small fruit. There is a small fruit. I don't know what the name is called. He is sleeping under the tree, and when there is a wind, the fruit suddenly it is cut to the wind because of the flow, and then it falls on his head, and then he wakes up. Oh, what happened? What happened? Then the sadhu says, just imagine if this were a pumpkin tree and the, and the pumpkin has grown high in the air and there is a wind and if it falls on you, what will happen to you? So what will happen to you? Your head would have broken. So now you tell me whether Lord's creation is right or wrong, whether he knows how to create or not. Just a practical, very practical example. Not that there are certain trees, but like if you say, oh, coconut tree is very tall, then if I sleep beneath a tree, it can fall on me. Somebody may wants to, expand the logic and want to, counter argue. But example is not to give an argument. Example is just to make one understand the principle, because our friend argues on examples. Then if we sleep beneath a coconut tree, then coconut might fall on our head. So examples are not supposed to be expanded or analyzed. They are just to give an example. So he used to give instructions with such simple examples, and then he used to give us instructions. So anyway, he used to stay in Chandigarh Mutt. He was in charge of Chandigarh, a disciple of Param Gurudev. And our Gurudev actually, when he went there, what's that place name? Near Sukratal, there is a place. I forgot the name. So he was from that place. So our Gurudev, on one particular preaching program along with Param Gurudev, he went to that place. He got attracted by the speech of our Gurudev. And then he told that I want to meet your Gurudev. Then our Gurudev brought Pujapad Nishkinchan Maharaj to Param Gurudev, and then he got initiated from Param Gurudev, and then he took also sannyas from Param Gurudev. He used to read Bhagavad Gita daily, every day. And he used to chant at least 1 lakh names a day, at least, every day. He was so very, fixed in his practices. Anyway, so somehow today he made his remembrance, so through this example. So here, when the mind is not fixed on one thing, then the mind will become restless. Just like the jinn who was always asking for something or other, the mind is always in a restless state. It has to be given a particular thing to cling on to be fixed upon. Kramashah karma vasana parityag, and slowly one's desire for material pleasures will be lost when the mind is fixed. Actually, if the mind is through mind we actually enjoy or suffer. It is through mind, not through the body. When the body is weak, if the mind is strong, till that point a man will not undergo any troubles. But once the mind becomes weak, then he will realize the the difficulties or the problems. So that's why in the Gajendra, when Gajendra was in the water, he fought for several years. Even though his senses were not getting food, he was not getting food. Gajendra eats only on the land. Whereas a crocodile who caught hold of Gajendra, for him the senses are becoming more strong inside the water. He can search his food in the water, and water is giving him freshness. But whereas for Gajendra it is not so. His strength was weakening, but his mind was strong. That is why he could fight for so many years. After fighting for so many years, when his mind also became weak slowly, because all the senses one after another they have become very weak, and ultimately when the mind has become weak, that is when he thought that now I am not going to be saved, now I am going to be a goner. That is when he thought. So the mind, if it is constantly getting bliss from some objective, then automatically we will not have desire to do other activities in this material world. So here that is why he is telling that fix your mind upon me, then automatically karma vasana parityag, it's like all the desires will be gone automatically. Just like if you don't supply fuel to the fire will extinguish. An example is given here that when you are not supplying sattva, raja, tamo gun, these are the three things that are constantly, troubling us, in the sense that sometimes, this, sometimes that. When the mind is fixed in supreme and we stop supplying fuel to the fire, then slowly, slowly the fire will extinguish. So he is telling that one in such a way will become free from all the desires of the material pleasures by fixing the mind in Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Shri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, যেখানে মন নিবিষ্ট হয় সেই স্থলে এই মন কর্মবাসনা ত্যাগ করে, তৎপরে সত্ত্বগুণের বৃদ্ধি দ্বারা রজস্তমোগুণ ধৌত করে. So when the mind is fixed on one thing, then automatically he will give up his desires for some other things, isn't it? When a small child is crying bitterly for so many things, when a doll is given in his hands, his mind is completely fixed in it. It's making some jingling sound and glittering light and so many things. He's seeing all those things and then his mind is attracted towards it. When his mind is attracted towards it, then he is not worried about other things, whether he is hungry or whether his mother is there or whether other things are around him. It does not really matter to him, all of these things, because his mind is now fixed in it. That's why the mothers, they give some nice doll to the child, and then when she is lost in the doll, then she can do whatever she wants. So in a similar way, when the mind is fixed on one thing, then automatically he will not have the world of other things to do in his mind. When he will be thinking of so many other things to do in the mind, then there will be constant problem. But if it is fixed on one thing, then it's not a problem. And slowly, by transcending to the mode of sattva guna, to the mode of goodness, slowly one will be, the rajoguna and tamoguna, the activities that are influenced due to the passion and ignorance will be gone, because one has placed himself in a superior mode. रजस तमोगुण ना थाकले मन विक्षेप और लय शून्य होइया निर्वाण अर्थात सत्वगुण और क्षीण प्राप्ति हेतु निर्वाण अर्थात परम आनंद लाभ करे. When one is not troubled by rajoguna and tamoguna, by ignorance and passion, then because he is situated in sattva-guna, his mind will be very peaceful, and then he will relish happiness. He will accept happiness. He will get happiness by transcending him from the rajoguna and tamoguna. যেমন কাষ্ঠরূপ গুণ ও তাহার কার্যশূন্য হওয়ায় অগ্নি স্বভাবতই নির্বাপিত হয়. Just like when you don't supply the wood or fuel to the fire, then automatically the fire comes to extinct. In a similar way, when the rajoguna and tamoguna, they are not, once the mind is not involved in it, automatically, or rather when one's mind is fixed in sattva-guna or in transcendence, then automatically the fuel of enjoyment in this material world will be burned. The fire will be extinct because the fuel is not being supplied to it. Srila Prabhupada writes in the commentary, Gunaguli paraspar birodh utpadan kare. So these modes of material nature, they are constantly, because of the clashing of these three modes of material nature. Clashing means when a person is goodness, he gets some kind of instructions from the mind. When the mode of passion becomes predominant, then he gets another kind of instructions. Oh no, just leave it. Let's work for the self. Even in the mode of goodness, something says, be charitable, be noble, be generous to everyone. Do this. But then in the rajoguna and tamoguna, the mind says, no. If you give everything to everyone, then what will you eat? You have to store something for your wife, for your children, for your own self. In this way, the mind, the three modes of material nature, because of their, their fundamental difference in the nature of it, the goodness, passion and ignorance, the mind is constantly tajjanna manodharma diggan sarvada manke bashibhuta koribar yatna koren. Therefore, the mind will be unsteady. Therefore, he is telling that manodharma vid, those who have the knowledge of the mind, those who understand the nature of the mind. What is nature of the mind? Mind is very fickle. The mind needs some resting place. Just like we heard the story of, just go up and down, go up and down. So it needs something, some resting place, something to do. So those who are knowledgeable of the nature of the mind, they engage the mind in a proper direction by which it comes under control automatically. But if we artificially try to control, it is not possible. You have to fix it at a superior location. तामसिकी और राजसिकी प्रवृत्ति होइते मुक्ति होइले जीवेर मंगल होय. When one is freed from the rajoguna and tamoguna mode of ignorance and passion, then there is a chance of getting auspiciousness for the living entities. As long as he is in these two modes, good passion and ignorance particularly, then there is no question of any auspiciousness possible upon him. Maner nigrahi guna mukta hoibar ekmatra upay. So, if one wants to transcend or if one wants to control the mind, then one has to transcend the modes of material nature. There is no other, solution to this. If you want to transcend the modes of material nature or the influence of the modes of material nature, then mind needs to be fixed. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya yogina rasovarjam rasapyasya param drishtva nivartate. When the mind is engaged in, relishing the superior mellows, then automatically the taste towards the inferior things will go away. Therefore, the mind should be fixed upon the transcendence, on a supreme thing, so that the inferior things will automatically go away, or our desire to enjoy them will go away. Do we have time? Okay. तदैव मात्मान्य अवरुद्ध चित्तो न वेद किंचिद विहिरन्तवं वा यथेषुकारो नृपतिं व्रजस्तमिषौ गतात्मा न विवेद पार्श्वे. एककाले कोनो एक बाण निर्माणकारी पुरुष बाण सरल करिते प्रवृत्त होइया तद विषये अत्यंत मन संजोग हेतु समीपस्थ मार्गे गमनशील राजार विषय जानिते पारे नाय. मुनि व्यक्ति ईश्वरे आत्मसमर्पण काले उक्त बाण निर्माणकारी न्याय संयत चित्त होइया बाह्य बा अभ्यंतरीण अन्य कोनो विषय जानते पारे ना. One time is telling that one time a person who was preparing an arrow, so he was trying to make the arrow very straight. Arrow has to be straight, so he's preparing the arrow in a very straight. So to see that, to make the arrow straight, he has to see like this, isn't it? He has to see whether it is straight or not in the vision. So his mind was very concentrated in doing it. When his mind was very much fixed and concentrated in it, at the same time, a king was passing in front of him. When the king was passing in front of him, because his mind was very fixed in the arrow, he did not even see the king passing by in that road. Because what he was seeing is not the king. What he was seeing is whether the arrow is straight or not. Even though he's seeing the king in front of him, he was not seeing it. So he's telling that the mind needs to be fixed in that manner. When the mind is fixed in that, whatever we heard, this is what he learned from an arrow maker. Fixing his mind, he was not able to see anything other than the arrow, whether it is straight or not. When the Dronacharya was teaching lesson to the Pandavas and to the Kauravas how to shoot an arrow. So there is a test of whether one can shoot it exactly or not. So like you have a bullseye, right? To hit the bullseye. So whether his concentration is steady or not, he asked many persons by placing an object on top of a tree. He called everyone. Now I want you to shoot that object which is on the tree. You have to hit the bullseye. Then he calls everyone. He asks, what are you seeing? I am seeing a tree. On top of the tree, a branch, and on this particular branch, there is this. Okay, go, come. Calls everyone. Everyone says everything. He calls Arjuna. Now you tell me what you are seeing. He says, I am seeing my object which is to be hit. Are you seeing the tree? No, I am not seeing the tree. Are you seeing the branches? No, I am not seeing the branches. You see, there is a green leaf that is next to the object. You are seeing it? No, sir, I am not seeing that. There is a leaf that is, about to fall on top of it, because it is wavering to the wind. Do you see that? No, I am not seeing even that. Okay, then you are eligible to become a bowman. Because a person's vision should be so much fixed that he will not be in a position to see anything other than his object of concentration. That is the perfect way of samadhi. That we see nothing other than the object of our concentration. So he is telling that the bowman here, an arrow maker, what he was doing, he was seeing whether the arrow is straight or not. And in that process, when the king was also passing by in front of him, he could not even understand the king was passing by. Muni Vyakti, in a similar way, a saintly man, Ishware Atmasamarpan Kale, when his mind is very steadily fixed in Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, just like a bowman, Sanjata Chitta Hoya, Bahya ba Abhyantarin Anna Kono Vishay Jante Parana. He will not be aware of inside and outside. Whether he is hungry, whether he is thirsty, whether he is some other problem in the stomach or something else, he will not be able to understand. Outside, so many things are happening, he will not be able to understand. Means all his sense organs will completely be fixed in one object, and that is where his mind is fixed upon. Like that. So, our Rupa Goswami Pad, he writes a verse that when the holy name enters into the courtyard of my heart, and when it dances in that courtyard, then all the activities of my senses come to a standstill. They are completely fixed, not knowing what is going on inside and what is going outside, because the mind is completely fixed in relishing the taste of the nectar of the holy name. When the mind is fixed in it, then the mind cannot interact with other sense organs. Isn't it? Through the mind, it interacts. Our Gurudev used to give an example. It may extend some little 2-4 minutes extra today. So, because our Guru Maharaj used to give an example. There are, two types of senses in our body, according to medical science. They are called, or two types of nerves, not senses, two types of nerves. They are sensory nerves and motor nerves. All these nerves are connected into the brain. Okay, according to medical science, all the nerves are connected to the brain. There are sensory nerves and there are motory nerves. Sensory nerves are like that give perception to us. Like, oh, here is hot, here it is cold, or here it is beautiful smelling, or here is a nice vision. These are the sensory nerves that are connecting to the brain, and they give impulse to the brain that, oh, this I got a very nice signal, and that signal is nice aroma here. Then as soon as the sensory nerves give impulse to the brain, then there are another thing called motor nerves. They give direction to the hands. Okay, pick that flower or go in that direction. So they are called motor nerves. The movement that we do, that happens due to the motory nerves. There are sensory nerves and there are motory nerves. Medically, Guru Maharaj used to explain everything, because he was a student of philosophy himself, right? He used to explain things so nicely that any person would be able to understand. Even an educated person who would want to give logics, he would be able to understand. So these two, sensory nerves and motor nerves, they operate, and thus therefore there is activity in the body. But then Guru Maharaj says there is a superior science. They call them as psychiatrists or the subject of psychology. The subject of psychology does not concentrate on the brain, it is particularly fixed upon the mind. They talk about the mind principle, they don't talk about the brain. Whereas for the doctors, it is all about the brain, psychologists object to it. No, there is something superior to the brain, and that is mind. That mind, when he sees, the mind is basically the reason for the sensory, when the sensory nerve is sending the impulse to the brain, it is being processed in the mind. If the mind will not speak whether it is good or bad, then it cannot give order to the motor nerves. So yes, sensory nerves are sending signal, but that signal has to be processed somewhere, isn't it? You understand? That signal needs to be processed somewhere. To understand whether it is good or bad, right or wrong, it has to be processed. It's not processed in the brain, but it's processed in the mind. That's why they say the mind is controlling the brain. Mind is superior, or they don't say control, mind is superior to brain. We just heard, right? Manasastu para buddhi, indriyani parani ahur, indriyebhyo paro manaha. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, above the senses is the mind. But if the Lord says, we will not understand. If psychologists say that it is superior, then we will definitely understand. Therefore, Guru Maharaj used to give this example. The psychologists themselves, on the material persons whom we rely upon, not upon Krishna's order. So they say that the mind is the cause of our interaction. And then they give an example. Let's say you are sitting in a class and the teacher is going on speaking to you. Your sensory nerve is receiving it. But because your mind is absent there, you are not able to process it. But your mind is not functioning there. So, the psychologists, they give this example that because your mind is not present there, even though your sensory, and sometimes it so happens that your hand is also writing notes, just copying what is written there on the board, but there is no processing going on inside. Isn't it? It happens. Sometimes we are listening to Harikatha is going on. And sometimes we also write, what happened? Oh, Guru Maharaj said something, I didn't understand. I have written. It happens, all of us, not only one or two persons. Because the mind is not processing, mind is there, mind was elsewhere, thinking about this, that. We are chanting holy name, best example, we are chanting. And then suddenly you have finished 4 rounds. You just started. But our mind has gone to so many different places, then suddenly, 4 mala finished. Oh, okay. You had been doing this, bringing down your mala 4 times finished, but you don't even know that you have done it. Your motor nerves are working, sensory nerves are working, but your mind is not working. Then you are not knowing about this. Then, manasastu parabuddhi, the Lord says that even superior to mind is intelligence. Now, how do we understand this? The science says that the mind also processes it. It has to get knowledge from before. This is good, this is bad, this is mine, this is not mine, this is someone else. So, all this when it is stored, the mind takes knowledge from what the database that has been stored, and it processes it. Oh, this is good smell, this is bad smell, or this is good food, this is bad food. Unless we have a knowledge, this is mobile, this is this person is Bhanumati, this person is Madan Mohan, this person is this person is this. Unless my mind has no knowledge about it, which is given by intelligence, then the mind also cannot have a proper activity. I mean, it will be wrongly directed. So, intelligence therefore is superior to mind. And manasastu para buddhi, buddhischa para saha means Atma. And superior to the intelligence is Atma, the Lord says. Of course, the scientists cannot go and research this Atma, they don't know. So, how Atma is superior? Atma is superior because Mind is there, intelligence is there, motor nerves are there, sensory nerves are there. If the life itself is not there, then what is the use of all these nerves and intelligence and all these things? Isn't it? What is soul? Soul means the life. When the life itself is missing, then everything is of no value. So, spiritualists say that even superior to your mind is our, Atma, which the scientists, of course, cannot understand. But there are certain processes by which everyone can understand, realize that Atma, that is Jagrata and Sushupta. In a sleeping state, one can realize that there is an existence of Atma. How? When we are in a sleeping state, deep sleep state, extremely, one is like half sleep. In half sleep state, our body is resting, our mind is seeing, so many things. What? I have gone to a very fairy land, a beautiful, pond is there, so many trees are there and nice flowers, beautiful garden, so many things. My mind in a dream like state, I am seeing so many things. And actually, I am also even smelling beautiful fragrance in that, beautiful fairy land. And with my eyes, I am seeing, beauty all around. And I can feel that the wind is very cold. But actually, I am sleeping on a bed. I am sleeping on a bed, but I am able to, feel all these things. How? Through my subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego. So this is how we can understand that from the gross body, the subtle body is different. Even though the gross body is resting, subtle body is doing its own activity. And therefore, through subtle body, we are actually enjoying it. After sleep, either, I got a very beautiful, dream yesterday, or I got a horrible dream yesterday. Sometimes we also have a horrible dreams which will immediately break our sleep. But our body was at rest. Someone is chasing after me, some lion is after me, then I am running for my life. Did it happen? It happens with many one of us, not lion or something, but something very horrifying. And then you suddenly wake up in the middle of the night, oh, I am here. Nothing happened to me. You even sweat, isn't it? You even sweat, but you have not run. Why did you sweat? You did not run, isn't it? And you see at those times your heartbeat also increases. Isn't it? Sometimes it happens. You just observe when you see a horrifying dream, even though your heart was at rest, you are sleeping, your body is at rest. But you see that maybe you are crying or you are sweating or your heart is pulsating at a great speed. How is it happening? You are not doing anything physical. So the gross body's experience is superior to the subtle body's, the subtle body's experience is superior to the gross body's experience. And how can we realize the presence of Atma? Atma is even subtle. When one is in a very deep sleep state, very deep, no dreams, nothing, then after waking up in the morning, you would say, oh, I had a very nice sleep last night. Now, who experienced that nice sleep? Who is that saying? Your subtle body, if it is functioning, then you would see some dreams. If your gross body is functioning, then you would do some activity. Both the gross body and subtle body, both of them are at rest, and you are saying that I had a very beautiful sleep, very relaxing sleep last night. Who is experiencing it? That experience is not by the gross body nor by the subtle body, it is by Atma. So in a state of deep sleep, one can realize that actually, the presence of Atma or in the state of Atma. So in a similar way, these three different states when the mind, I was, talking about basically the mind being fixed, talking about that, when the mind is fixed on one thing, then automatically it will not, be worried about, or it will not have concentration on other things. So this is what the lesson that he has learned from an arrow maker. Even though the king was passing in front of him, he could not see him. The eyes are there, but he couldn't see. Bahya ba abhyantariya anya kono vishay janate parena. Inside and outside, he had no knowledge of anything. You know, if you are deeply in concentration doing something, you will not even feel that you are hungry or thirsty, isn't it? Or it is hot or cold, nothing. When you are deeply into something, then you will not realize all these things. So he's telling that you have to become, you know, very fixed and steady and fully concentrating like this, you know, arrow maker. So we'll read the purport of this tomorrow. Ancha kalpatarubyascha kripa sindhubhyo eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.